Welcome to 8.7 arc length. So let's start with what is an arc. So we have arc AB, it's the round part of the circle. The length is just the fraction of the circumference. So here's our minor arc AB. Here's our major arc. We can't really name it without an extra letter there. So the equation, right, from x to y is just a fraction of the whole circumference. Well, the arc is opened up by an angle that is a fraction of the full circle. The full circle being 360. So we're going to take the angle out of 360 and we're going to take the arc length out of the circumference. So our formula is created by saying what is the measure of the arc, meaning the angle, over 360 degrees, because that's how much it's out of. And it equals the arc length of our arc out of the whole circle, which is the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So here's how we use it. Our angle is 45 degrees, so our arc measure is 45 degrees. So 45 out of 360 equals x, because we don't know what the arc length is, and that's what we're trying to find, or L, whatever you want to call it. It's a variable, over the circumference. The circumference is 2 times pi times 6, which is our radius. Okay, so 2 times 6 times pi was 12 pi. And then we got 45 over 360. Now this is just a normal proportion. We can cross multiply and solve. 360 times L equals 45 times 12 pi. Right, 45 times 12 is 540. So 540 pi equals 360 L. Divide by 360 and we get 3 halves, or 3 pi over 2. And that is our arc length. And we're going to leave it in terms of pi just because it's easier than the decimal. Okay. Our next example here, our arc measure is 60 degrees. 60 over 360 equals L over 2 times pi times 9. So 2 times 9 was 18 pi. Cross multiply, you get 360L equals 1080 pi. Divide by 360 and we get 3 pi. So our arc length is 3 pi. So we could use this to find other pieces. In this question, it wants to know how big is the measure of arc RS. Well, that is our angle this time. So instead of having the arc, that's what we're solving for. So that would be our x. X out of 360 equals, and it gives us that the arc length is 38, and that the radius is 12.3. So 12.3 times 2 times pi is 24.6 pi. And it gives us, again, the arc length is 38. So it's 38 out of 24.6 pi. That equals m out of 360, m as in measure. We cross multiply here, and we get, 13,680 equals 24.6 times 3.14, because that's what our pi is. We're going to go ahead and change it to a decimal just because it's already in decimal form to begin with. And then we divide by that and we get 177.10 degrees. And that is our measure of angle RS. You could also find the circumference, or find the area, or find just different parts given certain parts, right? We're given the arc length is 3.44. We're given that the arc measure is 60 degrees. We know the whole circle is 360. What we're looking for this time is circumference. We're just going to call it C. We're going to solve for C. Cross multiply here, you get 60c equals 1238.4. Divide by 16, we find that the circumference is about 20.64 centimeters. And so that is arc length in a circle.